Hello everyone. This is really my first real project with Windows Movie Maker. I'm not really used to how it works, so I've been working on this for quite a while. It's come to my attention that a lot of people have been spewing hate about the recent Sonic game, Sonic and the Black Knight, mostly because he's using a sword. You hear things like, oh, he's ripping off Zelda, oh, he has a sword, why are they using such a pointless gimmick, blah blah blah. And you know, it's not like The Legend of Zelda owns swords, so I'm not even going to give that argument any attention. But what I really have complaints about is that people are complaining he's using a gimmick. Sonic has always used gimmicks. I mean, the Werehog from the last game is patently obvious, but every game since the inception has had gimmicks. Gimmicks are more common than the new characters. So without further ado, I present Gimmicks of Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, so I feel the best way to showcase the gimmicks of the old Sonic games is right here on a Model 1 16-bit Sega Genesis. I've had this baby since I was 6 years old. In 1991, when I got it for my birthday. I have all 7 Sonic titles that were released for it, but first, let's take a look at the control. This is their 6-button. It's a little bit smaller and sleeker than the standard one that came with the unit. Has your standard ABC, your D-pad with the really good diagonals. I always love the diagonal control for Genesis controllers. And XYZ, mostly used for fighting games, not really relevant for Sonic. Guess I just mentioned them. But yeah, I really like the Genesis controllers. I thought they were quite solid. Now on to those Sonic titles. As you know, there were 7 released. There's Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Sonic and Knuckles, and 3D Blast. That's the approximate chronological order. Not quite sure. But let's look at the original Sonic cartridge, huh? Alright, we'll just pop this bad boy right in there and turn her on. See what we get. The original Sonic game was very much made of gimmick. It was to showcase the abilities of the original Genesis. They wanted to do it with bright colors and fast movement. Hence the bright blue hedgehog that can run super fast. So yeah, let's take a look at this. I mean, just look at all of this environment. The colors are vibrant, the background is extremely detailed. You can see flowing water in the background. Sonic moves extremely fast. I mean, it looks a little bit slow today, but at the time this was blazing speed. And you can just interact with everything in this environment. You have springs, collapsing cliff faces. You can your character actually tilts for the environment. He turns upside down for loop-de-loops. When you go through these tunnels and come out, you get a burst of speed up that ramp. You know, it's like this is just really amazing graphics. The graphics, the speed, you just did not have this for any other game at the time. And that was the gimmick. You had high speed, bright colors, lots of movement. This is something that you would never see in any NES game at the time. Of course, the special stage too. Look at this. This is freaking surreal. Everything's moving. You got these crazy backgrounds. You pass through transparent blocks that turn solid as soon as you pass them. Then you gotta get that Chaos Emerald. I mean, there's just so much going on in these special stages. I remember when I was a kid, it actually took me a while to figure out what I was supposed to do. But, you know, the game was great. And of course it had a sequel, Sonic 2, coming along with not only a new character, Miles Tails Prower, but also new gimmicks. So we see the solid intro based on the first game, of course. And the game starts. As you can see, the environments are still rich and pretty. You have your enemies, have a little bit more detail in them now. But the real name of the game is Tails. He's a CPU-controlled character that follows you around the entire length of the game. He helps out. He can help you collect rings, he can help you bash badniks, he can help you hit items. course, he's not very effective at it. I mean, this is, I think, the first time a fully computer-controlled character that sticks around with you for the entire length of the game had been tried out. And it was still a little bit experimental. Here you see me trying to get him to break this TV, but, you know, it's difficult to aim a character you're not controlling, but, you know, he doesn't hurt. He has a chance of helping, and he won't hurt you, so why not? Another thing about this game was it introduced 3D to the Sonic universe. I mean, look, I'm pretty sure this game came out before F-Zero did, but look at it. It's pretty. 3D graphics. And you have Tails. He can help you collect rings. Not very effective, but why not? So now let's go into Sonic 3 and explore the next bunch of gimmicks. This one had, I think, the most useful gimmick ever introduced. And that, of course, is the game save feature. In Sonic 2, you can collect those 7 Chaos Emeralds, beat the game, get the perfect ending, lord it over your friends, and then lose it all the next time you decide to play. That kind of broke my heart. At least this time, if you collect those 7 Chaos Emeralds, you can be Supersonic whenever you want. Yeah. You have a whole bunch of save files so your friends could get their own, and they won't have to mess up yours. And look, the environments, as you can expect, they are even more pretty. The gameplay is even faster. But like I said, the real name of the game is Gimmicks, and the gimmick for this one, being Supersonic anytime you want. You can just, as long as you play through the game at least once and got those Chaos Emeralds, you could come back and be Supersonic whenever you please. I mean, that has to be the greatest thing. You can't do this in any other Sonic game that I recall. And of course, you can also play as Tails. In Sonic 2, you could also play as Tails, but he was basically Sonic with a different sprite. Here, you have Tails' powers. You can fly, and you can swim. This is actually the first Sonic game where you can not only play as multiple characters, but those characters can advance in the game differently depending on what their abilities are. That was a nice touch, and yes, it's another gimmick.